Okay. All right. Welcome to Zoom call. It is Sunday, March 5th. And a couple quick announcements. We are starting a new Coach Basics training starting tomorrow for those of you that are brand new coaches, or if you've been a coach for a little while and you just kind of have been sitting on the sidelines and just kind of watching and you want to jump in, you want to learn more, you want to know what this is really all about. Or maybe you thought you could do it last month, but life just got a little crazy and you couldn't. So we want you to jump in for March. So that starts tomorrow. Also, the Success Club prize for March. So if you hit Success Club 5, you will earn the Beachbody Performance line sample packs of that. I was just looking at my desk. I don't have one here to show you real quick, but you'll get a box that will have 5 individual packets, one thing from the Beachbody Performance line, which is awesome. We've had that Success Club prize in the past, a while ago, actually. And that's a really great thing to use yourself, but also to hold on to and use as like a prize for one of your challenge groups. And last but not least, there is, let's see, the 3-week yoga retreat is now available on DVD. So if you remember, that was just in Beachbody On Demand, but now it's actually on DVD. So that is for sale. If you have customers that don't really want to do Beachbody On Demand because they're crazy, I don't know, for whatever reason. But they really love yoga and they just want to do the yoga, they can purchase that. So that's great news. I think that was just announced yesterday, actually. So that's all the announcements that I have for today. I will let Emily, I'll let you kick it off.
Cool. One other little addition, if you are someone who's planning to take part in Coach Basics, because I think a couple of you are, we are just kind of cleaning up that group right now. Those of you who were already in it before, we are leaving you in it. If you decide to leave, you may, but we're leaving you in it partially too, in plans that you probably will have coaches in the future to add to that, and you would be a part of that anyway. So it's up to you whether or not you stay in there, but those of you who are new and planning to take part, we will be adding you in there tonight because the first post will probably be up there about 7:30 or 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we kick off. So I'm super pumped about tonight. One of our goals for Jen and I is to start to really kind of step back a little bit and let you guys start to share. You all have things to offer, whether you are brand new or not. We want to kind of empower you guys to start taking the reins a little bit here and there. And so one of the things that we're going to do, we're going to hear from Sara just a little bit tonight, and then Mary's kind of the bulk of the call. But Sara, we're going to start with you, and I just want to kind of publicly give Sara a shout out. And she's going to share a little bit about, she's been a coach since, did you sign end of December, beginning of January?
Yeah, like I officially decided to coach at the end of December.
Sara's got a cool story. Just, you know, I love to share this because I think it's encouraging to people, but, you know, it took her a long time to jump in. But then as a challenger, and then when she did, she really jumped in with both feet, and I'm super proud of her. And then as a coach, you know, she jumped in, and it took her a couple months to kind of, really a month or two. And then when she decided to go, she went, and she hit SC8 last month. So she's done a great job. And so she's just going to take 5 minutes or so just to kind of share a little bit about her process. She is in process. We are all in process, learning and growing as we go. So Sara, just take it away.
Yeah. So I joined a challenge group in November, and like Emily said, it took me like 8 months to actually join. Between the time she sent me an invite and from joining, it was like an 8-month period. So I was anticipating that I would fail at it per usual, but I didn't, and I wanted to do it. So I announced my coaching in December and wanted to do a group in January. I didn't really have any interest in January besides my husband and my mom. And then in February, I decided to do a free group, and I didn't really do any personal inviting. I had one person doing a beach body program with me, which was my mom. And and halfway through, it just kind of like drugged me down. It was kind of like people weren't really committed to it, and it was just kind of depressing. Just no one was invested in it. So I thought, if I'm really going to do this, and I think that it's worth something, I shouldn't be ashamed or feel weird about asking people to join along. So I thought, if I get a no from every person I ask, am I still going to do it? And the answer is yes, I'm still going to do Beachbody. So I started just personally inviting people through Facebook Messenger, and I sent out about 50 invites to people, and I had like 10 people interested, and 5 people joined for this month of March. So if you read Eat That Frog, the principle of the 80-20 kind of I think applies to invites as well. Like only 20% of what you're putting out there is going to kind of bite on this. I know it's not an exact application, but that's kind of what I used. If I want 5 people in my challenge group, I'm probably going to have to send out about 50 invites until it picks up and I get more interest in that. So the other thing is I'm hitting the personal development pretty hard. I read Eat That Frog twice since the middle of February, and I just finished a second book, and I started the Compound Effect today. So that's kind of all I've been doing. Just a couple of tips. I try not to throw like a bunch of facts and figures at people right away, because it just sounds like really desperate. Like, here's all of the things that are in Shakeology. And like, I think my target audience really doesn't need that. They need to see the value in it in other ways. So, and the other thing I try to do is not to close a conversation, just leave it open-ended with a question. So, there's like no definitive end to it until they say no or yes. So I followed up with people like 7 or 8 times sometimes. It just depends on how you want to go forward with it. So there it is.
That's awesome. And I think one thing that I really enjoyed watching, I mean, I've known Sara. Sara was my very first student at Lycoming when I started there 6.5 years ago, 5 years ago. And I've learned a lot about her just watching as she kind of puts her own personality and spin. And so that's one thing that for the month of March, one of the things that we really want to challenge you guys with this choose your own adventure personal development thing. We're asking you each to find a personal development book or podcast or whatever that fits your needs, because we all need to grow in a different way. We all have different strengths and weaknesses, which is the beautiful thing about a team, because we're going to make each other better. So our calls moving forward, for the next couple of weeks, we have next week and then we have a sneak peek. So be thinking about that as far as inviting people to your dream team. But beyond that is just there's nothing to be nervous about that, because if you're reading personal development, you're gaining stuff that you can share with other people. And we all have to grow, Jen and myself included. And what a cool way to learn about different personal development things. So you don't even have to have finished a book. We're asking you check out the file in the team page, in the actual files section of the team page, to sign up for, commit to something. If you don't commit to something, you're probably not going to follow through with it. Let's be honest, if you're like most people, unless you're abnormal and amazing. But commit to something, follow through, sign up for a time, and be willing to share with us. Even if you're brand new, you have something to offer. So don't be afraid of that. Sara has done a great job of just kind of sharing her personality and who she is in her posts. And I think that's beautiful. And she's still growing. She's still figuring it out. I am too. I'm challenged by that, though. I think that's a beautiful picture of exactly what, not everybody's going to say yes. And chances are at least half of those people down the road are going to come around and come back, if not more than that. So thank you, Sara. We appreciate that.
No problem.
Mary's been around for a while, and Mary has a lot of value to add. Mary has probably one of the most beautiful hearts in the world, super sweet and kind, and has really kind of been on a journey of just learning about herself and learning about what coaching, the purpose of coaching for her and what that looks like for her. One of the things I appreciate about her is the commitment to personal development and the application of it, because we can all read or listen, but if we're not applying it, what's the point? And I really sense that she kind of takes things to heart and tries to say, how can I apply this? So she's going to share what she's been learning. And again, this is very fitting to kind of our desire to have each of you really go deep and figure out what is your personal story, what value do you have to add? So take it away, Mary.
Awesome. Thanks, Emily. Very honored to be able to pass on some things I've learned. Specifically, what's been making my heart beat real fast is definitely the Jesse Reagan Likes Page training. And I think that that's what brings me joy, is getting into that personal development, like Emily said. And I want to start with just talking about growing your confidence about your story. And that's one of the biggest parts of being a coach, is developing that confidence that you need to come from a place of strength where, like Sara said, you're going to expect to get those no's, and then you're going to not be crumbled by it. And I definitely still get crumbled by it, which is why personal development is so important, and just being confident about you as a coach, as a person. And that's going to grow and grow and grow as you continue. And I've been coaching for almost 2 years, which is awesome. And the benefit of it is endless when you apply what you learn. Like Emily said, I mean, I've grown as a person so much, and it's just worth that, not even the income. I mean, the income's great and covered my Shakeology and everything, but the way it has the ability to transform you as a person if you let it. Well, you're in charge. You're your own CEO. So you're designing your identity and your life. And I'm a faithful person, so I believe that my identity is in Christ ultimately, but also you need to take an active role in that, and you as a coach, and what message you want to send. And so right now I want to start with just speaking some life into you and your coaching abilities and your story. Your story truly matters. Your story is powerful. Your story is amazing. It's not like anyone else on this team, not like any other coach, the top coaches, anyone. And you have the ability to reach someone that many people, countless people that need to hear that story. And I truly didn't get that until a conversation with this woman that I met through a babies group. So there's one tip right there. Find things you're excited about or things going on in your life. Find Facebook groups with those types of people in it. Those are your niche people, which I just had a baby. So August babies group was perfect. And her name is Mona. And she, I found out she was struggling with postpartum anxiety, just like me. I shared a struggle. I was like openly sharing that struggle. And that opened up a conversation with her. We're still in dialogue about all of this. But it's a long story. I'm going to just make it simple, is that my vulnerability opened the door for her to talk to me about her struggles. And then that in turn made my heart open even wider to get to know her, because as a coach, you want to have compassion for the people you're helping. So not only do you want to have them trust you, but you want to feel that love for someone on who you're coaching so that they're going to succeed even better because you truly do care. So the act of opening up is not just for that. It's for helping others open up and enlarging your care and your love and compassion for others as a coach. So your number one ultimate goal is having sincere connection and creating relationships, creating friendships. And I love the idea of a tribe. I don't think I ever really understood that until recently. A tribe is a family, someone you trust. You want people on your tribe that you can trust, and I feel like I can trust you ladies, and very thankful for you. I've messaged Emily about some hard stuff, and I know that I can go to her when things are tough. And I remember I had one day last year when I don't know if I can do this. I'm really struggling as a coach and getting these no's, and it really is a roller coaster. So you need people you can depend on, and they need to feel like they can trust you and open up to you, and that you're a safe place to building that relationship with first as a friend, and then as a coach. Because that will allow them to open up with you about their goals, which is so vulnerable, to share your need to lose weight, and the more honest and vulnerable they are with you, the better it is, because not only will you be able to pinpoint which tools will be best for them and why, but also they are showing that they trust you. And so I was thinking about Beachbody. I think it was one of the national wake-up calls, and Carl was talking about how it really is such an emotional investment of a high-value sale, I think it was. And so people have to believe in you as a coach. They have to believe in the product, but they also have to believe in themselves. And so when you get vulnerable with others, then you open the door up for them to open up to you and open up to their own possibilities. So the next, that was the what, what I wanted to talk about why your story matters. And but I want to talk about how do we do that? How do we deal in sincerity and authenticity? Because you can't really fake that. So that's one clue right there. You can't force it. And I think I've done that before a little bit. But I've learned more and more. I just can't, if my heart's not open enough to make a post, or I know it's Transformation Tuesday, I'm like, I gotta put up a transformation. When you're forcing something, you know that it's not the right time and place. And you have to give yourself space to work and communicate in a way that's real, and that's you. People can't fake it. And that's freedom right there. You don't have to force anything. And I think what was great was Emily's call the other day for DFG was it shouldn't feel like this is work. I forget what you said. It shouldn't feel like a chore. It shouldn't feel like a chore, like something you have to check off your book. I mean, sometimes it is like that, like you go through the motions with something. But when this part of the job is the best part, it's like my life has changed so dramatically from Beachbody and from coaching. And so coming from that place, it should never be a chore. And if you're in a weak place, you have to strengthen yourself with personal development and with great conversations with others coming alongside you, like coaches here, Lisa and Emily. You ladies have really encouraged me on my hard days. And that's what we're here for as a team. But, be unashamedly you. Just don't hold back. And I want to talk about something really cool. Like, I like to think about the brain. I did a personal development on the brain because I've struggled with depression off and on throughout my life. And I was reading I forget the name of the book, but it was really cool. But in the Like Big training, there was one of the speakers talked about mirror neurons. So mirror neurons are when you can share something really emotional from a place that's very sincere and emotional and vulnerable. Like if you're watching a movie, a dramatic movie, or something that you feel have you ever felt so wrapped up in it that you are just kind of taken over and you feel like you're part of the movie? Raise your hand if you have. I do that all the time, but that's what mirror neurons are. It's when you're unashamedly you, it gives others space to see themselves in your circumstances. So Emily, I was just wondering, how many more minutes do I have? Just wanted to check.
So I was just thinking about that. The call end in about 10.
Okay, good, because I have a couple more things. Just wanted to make sure I had time. Okay. Yeah, I tend to be like long-winded. So I'm working on that as a coach. But so the next part I wanted to talk about was so the mirror neurons. That's where your avatar comes in. Have you heard of avatar? You guys know what avatar means? Some of you may have, some of you haven't. But would anyone like to answer that question? What is an avatar? I thought I'd involve some participation. That's okay. Avatar is, your avatar is basically who you are, your niche. Kind of like, I think avatar is supposed to be like your picture, like your little picture of who you are. So that's who you are, and it's what's unique about you, what sets you apart, but it's what others can relate with. For me, I'm a mom, I'm a Christ-centered, I'm Jesus follower, I am thrift shopper, but there's some more vulnerable things, like I've suffered from dealing with abuse in the past. I've struggled with depression, definitely struggled with valuing myself and my identity and learning my identity in Christ, and that really is the deep stuff that I think has allowed people to feel connected with me recently. And it all comes from opening up about my challenges. And because when people come to Facebook, they're thinking, and there are a lot of people selling stuff. So I think that it's hard to earn that trust. A lot of people come with that guard up. And Mona actually, that friend I talked about, she said, at first I thought you were trying to sell me something. Like that, I thought you were just after a sale. And then just with continued vulnerability and offering how I've come through some hardships. And then specifically there was one about struggling with forgiveness, which it was something that was breaking my heart, but it was also a joyful thing that I was going through, that I was having a hard time forgiving someone, but I was able to do it. She actually reached out to me from that message. And out of that, we started talking about health and fitness. Somehow, it's a mystery. It really is a mystery how that works. But I think the main thing is the trust, is starting with building that trust and that friendship. And instead of viewing it as selling a product, which creates a wall, because everyone's already got their guard up, people are being added to groups. And have you been added to a group without your permission, anyone, for selling? Whether it's, and all kinds of stuff. I mean, but so people have their guard up and they're kind of, I think, desensitized to that. So in order to get through that wall and that guard, sharing your experience creates brand equity, which is not just about Beachbody, but it's you, your brand, and your avatar, who you are. So it's more than about the money you make. And it's hard to see past that sometimes, especially if you have big goals. But the more people you help, the more money you will make. And I believe that. I haven't reached my goals. Like there are some goals that I'm way far off. But I know that as I continue to help others, that it will, that will grow. And then I'll find the people that truly want to help others too. So, all right. So I want to get to some questions to get you involved, to get you thinking about who you are and what your story is. And also about how you got started. So this will help us think about how we can help others get started. So what compelled you to open up to your coach? Maybe you can write down some things about why you felt safe to open up to your coach about your goals. How did you know that you could trust her? It's good to reflect on that. I know that my coach, I was great friends with her. I am great friends with her, Casey. She invited me, not just like out of the blue randomly about Beachbody. She said, hey, I remember you asked me to pray about something going on in your life. How's that going? Can I pray for you some more about it? And then she shared the opportunity. So automatically my guard was down. You know, she cares. She's praying for me. She's a great friend. So that's where the place we want to come from. And so then moving on to, oh yes, okay. So when others are trying to find the courage to do something new they've never done before, it's uncharted territory. They really do need to trust you, but they also have to know that you'll be in the trenches with them and that you're going to pave the way. So when you're posting, think about coming from a place of confidence that how your story and your specific situation and struggles and breakthroughs and all those things you went through when you first got started, how does that make you as a coach someone who can pave the way for them and be there with them? Because your breakthroughs are different than someone else who's on this team. And actually, a really crazy, it seems crazy, but I've heard on the Likes page training that some coaches because their niche is so specific, and maybe there's someone who they're trying to help that doesn't fit into that niche, well, they can pass them on to another coach and say, hey, I don't specialize, my niche is not in diabetes, which is a very good example of something that you would need someone as a coach to have that niche. But it's sort of just that teamwork that I would love to see that happen more of instead of competing. But that we each bring something to this coaching experience that someone needs, that a lot of people need. And that your specific breakthroughs, very specific breakthroughs, will inspire others to push past their limitations. And so just coming to the end, so some questions for you. Why does your story matter? Why do others need to hear it? And it takes some wrestling with your struggles. You have to really, and it was 2 years ago when I got started, so I have to really think back. But I'm still going through struggles every day. And this journey is not you're not done after a year or two, even after you may lose the weight or get back into your clothes. This is an ongoing journey. You want to keep on sharing the vulnerable places, the vulnerable struggles you're in. So some other questions for you. Something that I felt recently that I needed to share something is when something's making my heart beat real fast. I don't know if you ever have those moments when it's like something's kind of breaking my heart or making me break down and cry. But also, what's making your soul sing? What is making you feel the joy that you want to share with the world? And you each have something so unique to share. So I'm coming to the end, but that's basically it. Just think about your challenges, think about your breakthroughs, and don't hold back. And also, one more thing, in the moment when you're really down in the pit, that may not be the right time to share unless you're ready to put a positive spin on it. Like, you want to be a role model, but you also want to be real. So it's a balance. But that's about it. I was thinking, I want to involve others to answering these questions, but then I thought maybe it will take some deep self-reflection, because I think it really is a process to get to know yourself and feel confident with who you are. But just remember to don't let a negative tape of who you are and your limitations play in your head. You got to change that around and believe that you have something to offer that is so valuable that's going to reach people, and it may not happen the way that you plan, but that's the beauty of it, and it's an adventure. Choose your own adventure.
Segue.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Mary, so much.
Mm-hmm.
So good. And please, 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 please do not listen to this and say, oh, that was cool. Yeah, I should think about that, and put this aside. This is honestly, I think, the foundation. This needs to be the foundation to our business, because if we don't understand, and it's a constant, like she was saying, this is I'm almost 3 years in, 2.5 plus, and I'm kind of revisiting some of these questions now as I'm going through the like page training too. But it's so important, because your avatar is that person that you are most kind of created, or, whatever to connect with. So the type of person, what do they read? What do they care about? What are they passionate about? Chances are it's going to be similar to you, but Mary and I are going to reach different people. And there are so many people out there. Our networks are different. So please consider that. So here's your takeaway, what I want you to do, because we're kind of out of time.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put a little, basically thing in the page, and I want you to share what 2 big takeaways for you and how you're challenging yourself moving forward. So kind of what were 2 things you just took away from either Sara or Mary's, and then what's an action step on that for you personally for this month. But the more that you're kind of discovering these things, the stuff that's down deep, some of it we really have to deal with personally before we can share it publicly. But I think great big questions. Mary, thank you. Sarah, thank you. Everyone, if you haven't chosen a personal development thing for this month, please do. If you're not sure where to go, talk to Jen or I. And the Melanie Mitro video that we shared with so many different awesome options that can help you find something that fits your needs. We want to help you do that so that you are growing in the way that you're most going to benefit from personally, and then your business as well. Cool? Awesome. Yay, Mary and Sarah. I know both